Welcome to the Home Buyers Club in Houston. Here, we are so happy that you're here. And my name's Walter Davis, and I want to show you today about the SETH 5-star program. I'll tell you that what I've found over the years of working in real estate is that the most common hurdle, or one of the biggest obstacles to people purchasing a home, is determining that down payment. What you've probably heard in the past or from people that have bought homes, your parents, things like that, is that you need 20% down in order to buy a home. But when you look at today's affordability, and today's affordability, the average selling price in Houston is a little bit over 350,000. So when you look at a first-time home buyer who's buying a 250 to $300,000 home, that's working a stable job and working a good solid job. A $300,000 home, 20% is $60,000. In some cases, $60,000 is a yearly salary. So we have to look at that and say we have to really determine the obstacles that are ahead of you and what we can do in order to help solve those. Now, this is one thing that most people do not know, or they haven't found out, is that you do not need 20% in order to purchase a home. In order to purchase a home, if you were using an FHA program, it only requires 3.5%. And if you were using a conventional program, they actually have down payments as low as 3%. And for our USDA homeowners and our veterans, we always take care of our veterans. Both of those programs are 100% programs, which means you do not have to put any money down for a down payment. And I think that's important to note because if you think that you got to put 20% down and you really don't, uh, it really makes the thought process of buying a home almost like impossible in your thought process. So I want to make sure we clear that up right out the gate, that you understand that you do not need to put that amount of money down. Now, if you do have that amount of money and you do have that in savings, or maybe you have a family member that's helping you or assisting you buy a home, there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's benefits to that as well, to putting a larger down payment down. But I just want to make sure that we're clear that you do not have to put a large down payment down in order to purchase a home in today's market. So, today we're going to talk about, as I said earlier, is we're going to talk about Texas down payment assistance programs. And these are grants that are provided to you to assist you in regards to buying a home. Especially, you don't necessarily have to be a first time home buyer with this particular program. But if you are a first time home buyer, you can use this program as well. And I want to read some of the information that they have on their website. Their website is here for you, and it'll be in the notes. It's Texas Down Payment Assistance.us. You can go to their website. That'll be the SETH program. And so let me click here. Let me tell you a little bit about the SETH program itself. The down payment assistance programs held by SETH. So the state of Texas offers down payment assistance programs to three state housing authorities: the Southeast Texas Housing Finance Corporation, the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs, and the Texas State Affordable Housing Corporation. Each of the programs outlined are administered by the authorities through a licensed and qualified lender. So basically, what they're saying there is, in order to tap into these programs, you're going to have to speak with a licensed and qualified lender who can utilize these programs. So the first one we're going to go over is the SETH 5-star. But I want to read something quickly about what they say and how they're dedicated to really making sure that you have this assistance and why it's important. And here's what it says here. It says, over the last decade, research has consistently shown that home ownership has a positive impact on the social economic status of a household and community. The financial benefits range from yearly tax benefits to the creation of wealth over time earned through equity gained as monthly payments or monthly mortgage payments are made. Areas with high rates of home ownership often see lower crime rates. There are also better educational outcomes for children and significant rates of community involvement. Research conducted by the National Association of Realtors showed that stable housing created by home ownership led to improved children's educational achievements, improved civic participation, improved health care outcomes for families, and reduced crime rates. One of the major barriers is that prospective buyers simply cannot accumulate sufficient funds for a down payment. This problem has worsened due to higher rents, particularly in metro areas like Houston, that make saving for a down payment that much more difficult. So this is why the down payment assistance and home buyer programs that I'm about to go over with you is important. And that's why they're dedicated to providing these types of programs for you, because we know that home ownership is valuable and important to all aspects of it. If you look at what we just said there in that statement, the research shows that kids get better grades, okay? You have a lower crime rate in the neighborhood, you have better health outcomes for the family, and you got more involvement or you feel more a part of that community. I think that's vital when you look at it. And you can tell that difference in many cases when you look at a neighborhood that's primarily owned by owners versus a neighborhood that is primarily owned by investors that are renting the properties out. They just don't have the. Unfortunately, let's just be realistic here. You're always going to get the honest truth from Walter here. Is they just don't. Rental neighborhoods do not have the same. They do not look at the property the same way an owner does when they're paying a mortgage versus paying a rent, rent every month. And that's just, I see it all the time. You know what I mean? When you paint a wall, you're looking at what that value brings to your property. You're making sure your grass is cut. You're making sure that your trees are trimmed. You're making sure that your property looks the best it can be, because the more better it looks, the better features it has and finishes, potentially the better or more valuable that property is, which then creates more equity for you. And in the long road starts to build your legacy and build some of your wealth that you're going to pass on to your kids and use at a later time. So let's talk about this a little bit. I'm going to open up this window here and I'm going to let you guys take a look. Um, you guys can go to this website. This particular website that I'm looking at here today is Texas Down Payments Assistance.us. It is the down payment program for the SETH. And let me share my screen here. Hold on one second here. And here we go. There we go. Okay. So you guys can see that here. And let me move this over here as well. I'm going to move a couple things just to make it a little bit easier for me. All right. So hopefully you guys can see that. Um, I want to talk about this first part here because, like I said, I will be discussing the first program here, which is the SETH 5-star program. The state of Texas offers down payment assistance programs through the three state housing authorities that I spoke about earlier. The Southeast Texas Housing Finance Corporation, they promote the affordable housing opportunities for low to moderate income eligible Texans. For more than 40 years, SETH, that's what the acronym is, has met the community's housing needs for a variety of programs and helped over 30,000 Texan home buyers with the purchase of by providing 160 million in down payment and closing cost assistance. These programs also provide financing with fixed rate FHA, VA, USDA, or conventional mortgage products. That's what they mean when they say that you must have a licensed lender who's qualified for this program. So they have a couple other ones. If you go to this website, you'll see a couple other programs. I'll do that in a couple other videos. Today, we're going to go over the SETH 5-star, and it's pretty simple. The 5-star Texas Advantage program provides eligible homeowners several options for a loan program that meets their needs. The program provides down payment and closing assistance for purchasing a home. The maximum assistance is 5% and is based on the final loan amount. Our options provide assistance in the form of a 3-year community second loan, which is completely forgiven after 3 years. The program includes a 30-year fixed rate FHA, VA, USDA, or conventional mortgage loan. This program is available in Texas, but outside of Travis County and the city limits of El Paso, McKinney, and Grand Prairie. So here's the features, basically. It's available to qualified homeowners from all professions. So if you're a teacher, doctor, it doesn't matter what your profession is, garbage man, well, it doesn't matter. Um, you can use this particular program. It's available statewide throughout a network of participating lenders. I only work with lenders who are qualified to utilize this program. The 3-year community second loan is completely forgiven after 3 years. I'll explain it to you in just a moment. So here's your eligibility. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer to be able to use this loan, down payment program. You can be a first-time home buyer. You can be a second time, third time. It doesn't matter. You do not have to just be a first-time home buyer. There are some income limits, and that's a ranging scale. So we need to talk about that in more detail once you provided some more information. And then there's some other little requirements that you must qualify for. Things like you must be 18 years or older, et cetera, et cetera. There is a minimum FICO score of 640, which is common. Most of your down payment grant programs are going to require your FICO score to be at least 640 or higher. And what most lenders look at is, as you may or may not know, there's 3 FICO scores that you have. You have TransUnion, you have Equifax, and you have Experian. What most lenders will do is they will use the middle score. But when you work with the Home Buying Club, our goal is to get your lowest score at the 640, so then there's no question or options beyond it. There's no maximum sales price. So that means you can buy a $300,000 house, you can buy a $500,000 house, you can buy $1 million house. It doesn't matter. There's no maximum sales price. And the mortgage for the purchase of an owner occupied primary residence excludes Travis County and the city limits of El Paso, McKinney, and Grand Prairie. So what that's basically saying is that it must be an owner occupied house. You must be buying the house for yourself and your family. And we're going to put a mortgage on it. It's going to be your primary residence. So let's say give you a great example. Let's say you have a home that's in Florida and you're moving to Texas. You could use this program by buying the house in Texas as long as the Texas home is your primary home and not the Florida home. So if you got questions about that, just shoot it down there in the notes. We'll get into more details, of course. Um, so this is what I want to talk about here. Let's talk a little bit about. Let me change this here. Let's talk a little bit about what my thoughts are in regards to how that works or best suits you. And this is what I would tell you. This program is a start. As you may know, there's going to be other things that we need to do and make sure are in line in order to buy a home. But if your obstacle is 20% in the down payment, or even thinking about that part of it, this eliminates that. Because what this is saying is here's a program that anybody can qualify for. It's going to take care of the down payment between 3% and 5%, depending on which level of the program you decide to go with. And the benefits to you is that you don't pay any more money for that down payment grant, but it will sit there as a second lien on your property until the third year passes. As long as you live in the house for 3 years, that down payment grant program is completely forgivable, and you know you do not have to pay it back. So I see that as some true benefits to buying a property, and I really um, hope that through explaining one of the many programs that I'm going to go over with you guys, that this gives you some fire, because I think it's such a disservice in our communities, especially when I'm talking about the minority community as a whole, that we do not own more property. We have to set the standard and start to set the example for our children so that our children can be owners and build wealth and develop into um, people that are a part of the community, but also own something in the community. Because when you own things, you have a seat at the table that allows you to be able to talk and give your opinion, because your opinion matters. So I'm hoping that this gives you guys some insight, at least as a start. Come back to us, join us. I'd love for you guys to like us and subscribe. I'll be giving a lot of insight in regards to real estate. My goal is to really educate you guys on what we need to do in order to take bigger steps and own more property, own more investments, learn how to establish your retirement, at age 30. You know what I mean? I want to show you guys that how to create cash flow and how to utilize real estate the same way that we watch these big wigs out here utilize real estate. You deserve a piece of the pie just as much as they do, because you live here. But we got to start with our first one ultimately, which in most cases is going to be our first home. So if you have questions about any of this or questions about down payment grants, put it in the description below. Put it down there. I'd love to have a conversation with you guys down there. Of course, you can reach out to me directly as well. My information will be also in the description below. But you guys stay blessed, stay focused. If you want to become a homeowner and get out of renting and start to build your legacy, build something that you can leave for your family and your kids. And if you want to show them the example of what it means to be an owner and own it and then have your own pride of accomplishing that goal of buying your own home. Nobody can kick you out of your house. You know what I mean? So let me know. I mean, I'd love to talk to you guys about it. Be on the lookout. I'll be doing a home buying seminar here in the next couple weeks, probably the second week of January. My goal is to help 100 families this year become homeowners. So if you know anybody, send this to them, send them clips of this. I'd love to talk with them, and I'll see you next time. Bye.